You are watching video 57, and today we're going to be talking about why some analysts are predicting that 2019 is a year for the buyers. If you've been following along with national real estate trends, most analysts are predicting that either 2019, 20, or 21 will be the year that real estate markets fully shift over to the buyer side and start favoring buyers instead of sellers. Now, I can't speak on a national level, but I can show you what is happening on a more local level, specifically here in Brevard County. January is a perfect month to start looking at real estate trends because it really can show what the rest of the year is going to do based on previous data trends. So today we're going to be looking at everything from pricing to inventory to days on the market and finishing with absorption rate to kind of give you an idea of what is happening in our market. So if you're ready, let's just jump right in. Most people are only concerned about price, so that's where we're going to start today. So from January 2017 to 2018, there was a 1.7% increase in the median sales price, which represents about $5,000. January 2018 compared to 2019, the market remained flat, meaning there was no difference in the median sales price of for sale listings. Even though the asking price from 2017 to 2018 increased, the sales price actually dropped 3.8%. And when looking at January 2018 to 2019, that number continued to decrease by 3.5%. We saw a massive increase in inventory in January 17 to January 18 by 26.5%. January 18 to January 19, we saw a relatively large increase at 11.5%, but still you can see the inventory numbers continue to rise. January 18 was a big month for contracts as it crushed January 17 by 28.4%. And that trend continued going upwards by 5.8% when looking at January 19 to January 18. For those listings to go under contract, it took 62 days on average in January 17. Now in January 2018, it was a 72-day average day on the market, which was a 16.1% increase. In January 18 and January 19, we saw that number continue to rise from 72 all the way up to 80. And when looking at the entire 24-month period, we saw a 37.7% increase in the average continuous days on the market. In terms of sold units, January 17 was the worst producing month out of the entire year. However, when looking at January 18, we saw a 19.9% increase when comparing it to January 17. January 18 also happened to be the worst producing month in the entire year of 2018. However, we actually saw a 5.3% decrease when looking at January 18 to January 19. And when those units finally sold, we saw an average of a 95.2% over the last 2 years of the average sales price to the original list price. Sales absorption is essentially available listings divided by sold listings. So when looking at this trend here, you see a nice upward trend in the summer months, which means that more units are selling than the beginning months and the after months. When looking at January of 17 and January 18, you see that number hover around 14%. Then when looking at 2018, you see the same type of trend. However, you see a decrease from January 18 to January 19, meaning that more listings are left on the table. And when looking at sales absorption over the last 2 years, you can see that the peak months are always right in the heat of summer. So you're probably asking yourself, what happens to those listings that don't sell? Well, some cancel, some withdraw, but the majority expire before they decide if they're going to relist. So when looking at January 17 to January 18, we saw a 9.3% increase in expired units. January 18 and January 19, we saw a massive increase in expired listings by 48.5%. And there's no surprise that December of 2017 was the largest month for expired units, and December in 2018 was by far the largest month of expired units as well. So there are definitely a few metrics that have been pointing towards the market leaning more towards a buyer's market, such as absorption rate. So we have seen a decrease in absorption, which means that more units are available than what are actually selling. We also saw a massive increase in expired listings, which again kind of shows us that there is just a plethora of available units out there, and when they're not selling, they're expiring. I think the saving grace in all of this is we did see a reduction in the median sales price by just over 3%, which shows that the market is stabilizing. As always, thank you for watching. Thanks for your shares, your likes, your comments, and your amazing questions. So, I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything you guys do, and you know the drill. I'll see you next Monday.